to the Goteez Sports Page, coming to you live from the Bluetick Tavern in Maryville at 92.5 FM and 1180 AM. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Bringing you the best in Blount County sports since 1978. Featuring the Greenfield Gunner, Mike Edwards, former Maryville Scott, Donnie Moore, and from the Daily Times, Marcus Fitzsimmons.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here at the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville, along with Blount County Sports Hall of Famer Donnie Moore, longtime sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons, and Carson Newman assistant football coach Tony Iruli. And this is the Goteez Sports Page. Vandy heads to Knoxville with playoff hopes dancing in their heads, and we're going to the whistle blows. And now let's set today's lineup card. Donnie Moore will report on the latest high school playoff scores involving Blount County football teams, and will follow up with some national sports stories. Marcus Fitzsimmons will be on board to update us on what happens in local high school sports with his segment Mark It Down. Our panel will talk some UT football and basketball, and we'll look at today's SEC football schedule. We'll hit on some of the top college football games from across the country and have some discussion on the playoffs. Lane Kiffin will be in the talk. The letter rip segment is set to go, so let's break the huddle and dive right in. Good morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving weekend to all of you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, we got a lot going on down here. We got, Marcus, what'd you call it? The market.
Holiday market.
Holiday market
Smalltown
going on
Saturday.
downtown.
All business Saturday.
All over here. Look at
Yeah,
them
I
all.
tried to.
And it's Dog City out here on Broadway this morning.
I tried to
isn't
get
it?
one or all of you to go out there and try to get me one of those red velvet or velvet Elvis pictures, but couldn't get any takers on that.
I don't think you're looking in the right market here, Mike. I mean,
Yeah.
from what they're telling us, there's 150 vendors out there today,
That's what they said.
and it's a cold one, but there's still people out there, and we're across. Between us and the Capitol, they've got about 5 or 6 tents set up, and they're set up in the parking plaza up here and all the way down Broadway, and
Yeah. But there are a couple people with some real tight spandexes, so we'll have
Yeah.
no problem
That's-
getting your picture taken with them.
that's to
Right?
keep warm, Tony. That's for
Oh, to
warm.
keep warm.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I missed out on that one.
If it constricts your body so much, the cold can't get in.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, it's been a great Thanksgiving weekend so far as sports goes.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of basketball, pro basketball, college basketball, and a lot of football, pro and college football on.
yeah.
And today's going to be a big day in college football to kind of wrap up the regular season, except for I think Army-Navy still got their game going here in the next week.
I think
or
next
so.
week, yeah.
Next week. And
Yeah, it's rivalry weekend.
And Navy's had a heck of a year. They beat
They sure have.
Memphis the other day. I think they're 10-2, I believe, on the year, and I think they still got a very slim outside chance of still making the playoffs.
Right.
But
And remember, Maryville High School, former Maryville High School, Jay Guillermo, he's the offensive line coach
yeah,
for the Naval Academy. Jay
Nice.
played at Clemson,
yeah.
and he coached a couple of years over at Carson Newman, and Jay's an outstanding coach, and he's got a great future ahead of him.
Yeah. Well, I've got the letter rip segment ready to go here, Donnie, this morning.
Let's
I'm gonna
do it.
Talk a little about the Tennessee Vols and the Kansas game
Uh-oh.
there the other night. With a little over 40 seconds left in the Vols game with Kansas this past Wednesday night, and the Jayhawks down to 13 seconds on the shot clock and leading by 3, the Vols fouled and gave Kansas 2 free throws, which sealed their win. The Vols had just come out of a timeout, and I'm sure Rick Barnes discussed the 13 seconds on the shot clock and the fact it was a one-possession game. Why in the world would you foul and end your chance of winning the contest after you had played well enough to win? Oh, well, I'll bet that mental mistake won't happen again, and too bad it cost his team a shot at a quality win and an extra $100,000 in NIL money. So,
It was a costly foul.
It was a costly foul, no doubt about it. And I was really surprised. I mean, there's no guarantee that they would have held Kansas
No,
right
of course
there.
not.
Kansas had the 3-point lead, but they did have an opportunity where they could come down with another possession and possibly tie the basketball game up. But when they shot the free throws and went up 5, that pretty well sealed the deal right there. But
and I'm sure Coach Barnes took it very well on the foul. Just you know, he said, "Oh, gee whiz, that was not the thing to do."
You know, there's two things that you can look. You look at Rick Barnes' program through the years. Is that number one, they don't turn the ball over very much, and they play great defense. And they don't make very many mental mistakes.
Yeah,
This is one of the few that I've seen.
That's true.
And you know, fortunately, it was in one of those games that you know, as far as preseason, wasn't in the conference, so to speak.
Right,
but it would have been a great win to have on their resume at the end of the year, a Kansas win. But it was a great basketball game, great tournament out there. I don't think I've seen so many college basketball teams across the country that are playing so well right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost looks like some of these games, Coach, it's March. I mean, they're really playing well.
Yeah, there's a lot of polished teams
Woo!
out there right now.
Yes, there is.
Well, it's you know, basketball, like a lot of the sports, has turned into a year-round
Of course it is.
sport. And so where back in our day, you know, when you started the basketball season, it's, you know, you've been laid off for, you know, a couple of months, then you got back in college, and then you started back. You know, these guys have been going.
There was a period of adjustment
Correct.
but they hit the ground running.
Yeah,
now.
and the good teams, they seem to be, you know, they're good at the very beginning.
Sure.
And the ones that are well coached, and that's typically what Tennessee is.
Coach, I want to talk a little bit about this Players Era Championship out in Las Vegas because it's, you know, we've talked about money being involved in the game. They paid all the teams that came in there, guaranteed them $1 million, and then if you made it to the four final, then you were in the hundreds of thousands. I think as the third and fourth place teams paid 300 and 200,000.
Yeah.
Win or loser there, and then I think it was 500, 400 for the other bracket win in second place. That's a lot of money. Now next year they're going to expand that deal to 32 teams, and then they've got to pay out at the other. I was
Was this in Vegas?
In Vegas, and I was really impressed with the play out there and the teams that were involved and so forth, but not very many people in the stands.
No, there weren't too many. I didn't see a lot of fans either.
No, you would think that would be a sellout type situation out there with all the quality teams you got in it and the money.
Vegas for Thanksgiving?
I don't know. I guess I don't know. You didn't think it was a good idea?
Well, I mean, it's a warm venue, but I just don't know that Thanksgiving tournaments have ever had that big of.
Well,
Connecticut
played in Madison Square Garden yesterday, and
yeah, but that's what, an hour from campus.
they played Illinois, and that thing was sold out.
Yeah. Plus you got 20 million people right there, so I mean they can, you know, draw from that. But yeah, I think that you know, Vegas, you know, you're right. I think it being Thanksgiving, you know, people don't really want to go to Vegas for Thanksgiving. I think they just want to be around home or go to nearby schools to go there to their games.
Yeah. Well,
but you know, I'm sure that some of the slot machines got pulled a few times while the games were going on.
Well,
they were calling some of those
calling
fans'
it.
names, weren't they?
I thought Tennessee was impressive out there. They beat Rutgers 85-60, and they beat. I think Houston was ranked number 2 in the country, and they beat Houston 76-73. And I thought that was a really big win for their squad. I thought that game was one of the best college basketball games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
it was a physical game. It was hard fought. It was well played. Looked like an NCAA tournament game, and the stats were as close as the score. You know, Tennessee shot 47%, Houston 45%. 3-point shots were, I think Tennessee shot up 30%, and Houston was a little over 30%. And you know, free throws, Tennessee shot more free throws, which was a big difference. They shot 29. Houston only shot 11 free throws, and you think, by golly, you know, Tennessee's playing that tight defense, and they only send Houston to the free throw line 11 times. That's amazing. Wow. And so only 9 turnovers. Yeah. 9 turnovers. I think Tennessee had 9, and Houston was right there in that category this early in the year. I just think that's remarkable.
Yeah, you're correct what you said. This being as early in the season as it is, that type of a quality game, you know, it doesn't happen very often. And again, you know, I think these teams now are those upper echelon teams. They're so well coached, and you know, the players have gone through the off season at a high level, and there's no kind of a gap between preseason and the regular season. Now they're ready to roll.
Yeah, and Jacoby Gillespie had 22 points, and Bishop Boswell 10, and Jalen Carey had 13 points, and that's 3 guys in double figures.
Yeah.
And it was a great basketball game, and they're not done with each other. They could see each other again on into the NCAA tournament. And into Kansas, you back that up with a Kansas team, and you play them well. In fact, you probably should have won the game. You were up 12 at one time, and then Kansas went on a couple of runs. They went on a couple of runs there and got back in it and ended up winning. But Tennessee was up 43-36 at the half, and it just it went right down to the end. The Vols 7 for 25 from 3-point range. They probably got a little happy with the 3-point shots. I think Rick Barnes, I don't think he's against 3-point shots, but 25 shots out there, 3-point range, and they weren't really hitting all that well, but they only had 7 turnovers in the ball game. So 9 turnovers against Houston, 7 turnovers against Kansas. You're going to win a lot of basketball games in that regard. And Kansas, on the other hand, they only turned it over 9 times too. So you got a couple of basketball games right there where both teams didn't turn the ball over in double figures. Neither team.
Well played game.
Well played basketball games. And all that being said, the team that's almost unbelievable right now is Michigan. Michigan took Auburn to the cleaners.
Yeah.
They beat them 30 points, and I thought, man, that's crazy. And then they turned around and they beat Gonzaga by 40 points.
Goodness.
I mean, that's crazy. I think they're beating teams by 35 or 40 points. So, Tony, where does that eventually stop?
Well, especially this early in the season.
Or
does
it?
All that.
Yeah.
And how did what's the name of the Auburn's head coach, basketball coach?
Stephen Pearl.
Yeah, Stephen Pearl. Yeah. Was he calm and cool, and collective on the sideline, or was he off the wall like his dad
when
would be?
When you get beat 30 points, you don't. You probably don't. You're looking for a hole, is what I'm trying to say. You're looking for a hole in the court, or get me out of here.
You're watching that clock, making sure it keeps ticking.
I've had enough of this. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. But looking back on the Vols' performance out there, Donnie Moore, where do you think they need to improve? What are you looking for?
Well, like you said, they didn't turn it over much. The 3-point shooting needs to improve a little bit. They need to be a little more selective with their 3-point shots, I imagine, would help out. Make sure they get a better look at the basket. But other than that, of course, Barnes would say defense needs to improve.
Yeah, well, he's always about. He's always about.
That's his number one comment every
exactly.
game.
Yeah,
exactly.
Regardless how well they play.
Yeah, but they're deeper. This basketball team's got more depth than what they've had in the past.
Yeah,
I mean, they've got some guys that can get on the court there and they don't lose much. I think at one time their bench was really carrying them out there in a game or two, point wise and so forth. So I think that's very impressive that you're a little bit more got a little bit more depth, and you don't and that's a good card to have in your pocket as far as injuries go. Later on down the line, maybe a little bit more consistent. And at times in that Kansas game, I thought Coach Iruli that they got Kansas made those runs. And I thought that Tennessee lost a little patience. They got a little bit undisciplined there.
Yeah, that rattled a little bit.
Took some hurried shots. Yeah. Just didn't get in their offense and make Kansas work as much.
Right.
And, just didn't, like Coach Calipari, said with his ball club, said we need to go back to grade school and we need to five passes before we shoot. And usually Tennessee is very good in their half-court game as far as running that shot clock down and making teams work.
Right.
But in those stretches, it just seems like they panicked a little bit.
And that's going to be something that's going to be talked about and worked on during this upcoming week and all that. So, but again, you have these early games. You try to get the nicks and out of your system a little bit, and see what you need to work on, and then you try to make those adjustments, and that's where they're going to be at here this week.
Marcus Fitzsimmons, you've been really quiet over there, and I got one for you. The format of that tournament out there, you didn't get. I really don't know what they were trying to do, but when you get to, maybe it was because of the number of teams they had in there and the fact that they were playing 3 games in 3 days without any rest. But Tennessee didn't lose the first 2 games, and neither did the other 4 teams, but they went on point differentials. In other words, the team that beat the other teams by more points got the 1 and 2 seed and got more NIL money. And, of course, I thought that was a disadvantage to Tennessee because, my gosh, they put them with Houston. Well, you know that if you beat Houston, you're not going to beat them by very many points. So I just your feelings on how that was set up.
I mean, it's a novelty feeling. It obviously plays towards Michigan's game, which is offensive. So to see Michigan and Gonzaga paired together, that if you're thinking you got 2 big offenses and your goal is to have a game everybody's going to watch, then it got you what you wanted, and you still got a good 3-4 game with Tennessee and Kansas. So, I mean, it's an okay format. I don't know if that's what they'll continue to do. I suspect they'll do something kind of similar to narrow it down, or pods or whatever, when they go to 32 teams.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it produced what they wanted. You had good games the final day, even though, Michigan blows out Gonzaga, but it was still a fun game to watch if you were a Michigan fan.
Sure it is.
So congratulations to both of them and our listening audience.
Yeah.
If we can say Rick Howard is not one of those.
No, he is not.
But, I kind of like the format. I know the players like this tournament because of the NIL payouts that's going into it, because that translates to dollars for them down the road. So,
Sure does.
There's some excitement about the format, and maybe it's something new because some of these, like we saw Battle of Fort Atlantis, I think tipped off yesterday, and some of those are just really bad matchups. You're just not seeing.
Yeah.
You're just not seeing the excitement that they got from this players tournament.
Yeah. Well, they expand to 32 teams next year. I think they're talking about going to 2 divisions, and if they get the types of teams in there that they got this year, and of course the money and the payout's going to be attractive to a lot of schools.
Sure.
So we'll see what it happens to in the future. But what an experiment, and the fact that you can come back with some money in this day and age, it's going to be attractive to a lot of people. Hey, let's talk about some Tennessee football.
Hey, Mike, before we get on football, I don't know if you just noticed, but the carolers just came by the front of Bluetick.
Oh.
So we have there are roaming carolers in the holiday market. If you need another incentive to come down this morning, the holiday carolers are here.
All right.
Yeah,
Food trucks are here in the Bluetick parking lot. So
yeah.
But then the carolers saw Tony Iruli through here, and they said, "Oh, let's keep moving."
Well, they didn't want to serenade you yet. Maybe they'll come back.
Okay, good.
Tony, I really last week I want to talk a little bit about Tennessee beating Florida because I thought they played a great football game down there in Gainesville, and I know they had more going for them than Florida had going for them. There wasn't much there with Florida at this stage of the season. They've lost their coach, and their season's not going very well. But still, they went down there, Tennessee, 31-11 over the Gators. And so, based on that, do you think it was more Tennessee playing really well, or Florida just not playing very well at all?
Well, I just think it's a combination. I think Tennessee's been playing well. They've been consistent all throughout the season. They've kind of hit a lot of high marks, on different positions and such. And Tennessee's, and Florida's just a mess. I mean, right now I think they're currently paying 4 former head football coaches. I mean,
a lot of payout there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a mess down there. Just when you think it can't get worse, it gets worse for Florida. And you feel bad for the players who kind of go there to say, hey, we're going to be a part of this solution, get this program back together, but it continues to be a mess. And, why would someone I know why, because they're going to pay him a lot of money, but why would you become the head coach of Florida knowing the fact just on the past history over the past 4 head coaches, you probably only got 2 years.
That's right. Not going to be there long.
If if you're not winning a SEC championship, which they're not within 2 years, they're ready to get that guy out of there.
That's right.
Yeah.
You ask Mullins, his biggest mistake is he could still be the head coach of Mississippi State and winning only 7-8 games a year, but he'd still be the head coach of Mississippi State.
Yeah, he would.
And his mistake, he went to Florida, where it's a whole different deal, just like LSU is. And so, it's just a different deal right there.
Yeah,
Sure
Marcus, we talked about last week that the key to the game was Tennessee getting off to that fast start in the first quarter.
Well, we were right.
We were
Yeah,
right.
right.
They did just exactly that. And Joey Aguilar, I think, had his best game of the season, no picks, and it was just flawless.
He did have a good
It
game.
was just flawless all the way through. There wasn't very many penalties by Tennessee, and they just played a first-class game, I think, down in Florida. Marcus, I was surprised. We talked about Florida, how they ran the ball against Mississippi, the week before, and that their running game was solid, and the Vols had to be ready for that. But by golly, Florida came out of the gate throwing the ball all over the place. Did that surprise the heck out of me? Did it not you?
Oh, I think they kind of looked at it and said, here's what we want to do, but Tennessee's going to start fast. We got to hang with them. We can't get down in a hole. And so they didn't do what they did best. And then it didn't work for them. Tennessee still went up 14-0, and Florida tapped out. I mean, that second half was not fun to watch for most folks. If you were a Tennessee fan, you enjoyed it just because you were leading Florida by a big margin.
Significant amount.
Yeah.
But you were a little frustrated they weren't piling on. But Florida just tapped out ball control, trying just to not let anything else bad happen. And so it wasn't exciting to watch, and it kept Tennessee a little bit timid just to. It was like you're up by 4 scores. I mean, what are you going to get out of?
Let's get out of here.
And when they got up, Coach, by 4 scores in the second half, I looked out there and they decided to run the ball. And Tennessee's going, well, you just run it all you want, because when you run it, the clock's running, this game's over. I thought you needed to be running the ball when you didn't.
Yep.
And you needed to be passing the ball when you needed to pass the ball.
Well, I think at that point in the game, they were running the ball just to keep the clock going and get the heck out of it.
Not to get beat any better,
any
worse than they already were.
Keep it under 50 points scored against them.
Well, it was the worst. Yeah, it was the exact opposite, because if they had run the ball and kept the ball away from Tennessee, then you're not down 4 scores. And then you're in the position where you can throw it around a little bit and try to catch up, but
no,
it was the exact opposite formula of what they needed to be able to do.
They were never in the game. Now, the question is, they ended the streak down there, and everybody, well, we're glad that we ended the streak.
Yep.
I don't know how excited everybody was about it, because Florida wasn't a very good football team.
We're not.
And now you look back on the Tennessee, the wins that they've got in the conference, Tony Iruli. They've beaten Arkansas, they've beaten Florida, they've beaten Kentucky, and they've beaten Mississippi State. I mean, all those teams are the bottom 4 teams in the league. They really hadn't beaten anybody this year of any quality, of any rank.
Sure.
And finally, they've got that chance. Now, if you lose to Vandy, how big was ending that streak down there at Florida?
Well, people will say, what streak?
yeah. They won't be thinking about that. They're going to be saying, "Oh my God, we lost to Vandy." I mean, that's
lost to Vandy.
Yeah.
But and you can, but at the same time, I mean, like we just said, Florida scared Ole Miss to death the week before. They were right in that game.
Yeah.
The reason we're not having a conversation about Texas being in the playoff right now is because of Florida. If you take out the Florida loss, Texas is a 2-loss team arguing to be in the CFP legitimately.
They might be, yeah.
Well, let's talk about Vandy today. They're coming in, and I think they won 9 games for the first time since 2015, or not 2015, but 1915.
Yes.
And they've never won 10. Coach Iruli never won 10.
No.
And this is the first time that both teams will play each other with both of them being ranked. Which is unbelievable. The fact that this is historical. This rivalry is going on forever and ever. But they've never played each other when both of them was ranked, and with the game, meaning so much.
Sure.
I don't know whether Vandy's in the playoff hunt if they win today. I think there's some things that's got to happen, Donnie Moore. Some things are going to have to happen today,
of course,
for them to get in. But certainly there may be a more quality bowl game left on the table. If you're looking at the Duke Mayo Bowl and the Music City Bowl versus the Citrus Bowl. That's something to be playing for today, and that could be on the table.
I think if my team was going to the Duke's Mayo Bowl, I would do my best to throw the game. 5 gallons of Duke's mayo dumped on your head after the game.
And it's cold.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
You'll be washing that off for hours after the game there. That may will be in parts of your body that you never thought.
That's right. You'd have to find the nearest pond, wouldn't you, Tony?
Yeah. A lot of Q-tips will be used.
Yeah. Coach, both of these teams are playing real well right now.
Yeah,
and both of them's got quality quarterbacks, and that should really we can all look for a very interesting and entertaining
Well,
day.
here's the deal: is you think about all the other teams that have great rivalries: Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, like this, and it's never been really Tennessee, Vandy. Tennessee would always end up the season playing Vandy in Kentucky.
Yeah.
To pad their schedule so that now they get a bigger bowl like this. Not the case now. I think it's more exciting for the state of Tennessee to have Vandy playing really good football, and so I think a lot of people are going to be paying a lot more attention to this ball game. But it's a great job. Their head coach has now signed a 5-year contract. He's not going anywhere. And so I think it's just.
Wait a minute, you said the coach, right?
Yeah, the coach.
Okay, not the quarterback.
Not the quarterback.
Okay.
Well, quarterback's still got, but
He's already been there 7 years. What do you want?
I think he's got 3 more years of eligibility, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, both of them have filed for another year.
Yeah.
So
So I think when he gets done, he'll be 31, 32 years old.
Yeah.
And so
lawsuit anyway, haven't they? They're suing the NCAA.
There you go again.
And I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here because they cheated me out of a year of eligibility because freshmen weren't eligible. Now, where's our lawsuit?
Exactly.
Where's?
I think you can bring it retroactive. That you should.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody pick up a 75-year-old on their roster or not, but there's some warrant for that deal. All those players for all those years that gave up their freshman year and couldn't play varsity.
As long as you can still hit the 3-pointer, they'll pick you up.
He can nail it.
Yeah. I'd say you're still in good shape.
I'll tell you what, for $1 million, I'll do anything in this day and age.
Me too, and sometimes it's not related to sports.
Yeah. Hey, Vandy, I've got some things down here. They're playing for a playoff chance. It's still on table. Bowl upgrade. We've talked about that. In-state bragging rights. We've been a little all fall. We've said, well, is Tennessee the best team in the state? Maybe not. You got Memphis, you got Vanderbilt, and you got Tennessee. Well, today we've got the 2 teams that it's down to.
That's right.
Vanderbilt and Tennessee, so we're going to find out that. And then you got Pavia, the quarterback there at Vanderbilt. He's in the Heisman running.
Sure.
He's one of the Heisman guys.
He is.
And they're looking for a 10-win season. So Vandy, they got plenty to play for, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just again, when you have those rivalries, regardless what their records are, I mean, it's going to be a tough football game, but it's even better now because now Vanderbilt matters. And it matters to their program.
Like you said, Kentucky used to be Kentucky and Vanderbilt used to be Vanderbilt. Now Kentucky's still Kentucky and Vanderbilt's good.
Right. Well, in the day, Tennessee would go to those last 2 games maybe with a 6-4 record, but they'd probably win those last 2. So now all of a sudden they're 8-4. They got a better bowl, and that's without much stress upon them. Now it's a whole different deal.
You got to admire the coach down at Vanderbilt because he signed an extension yesterday to his contract. Unlike some Vanderbilt coaches that they've had success, and he could have had that same opportunity by looking right now with some real quality jobs open. Maybe he could go someplace that a little bit better program, so to speak, a better recruiting area. I mean, a lot of advantage there, but. He's a Vanderbilt guy.
He's a Vanderbilt. And now with these contracts that are being done to the current ones, I mean, why? Now you're getting a contract for $50-60 million for the next 5-6 years at Vandy. Why go to a place where now their expectations are a whole different? For basically a little bit more of the money.
Exactly.
And, while you could be happy at your place, you're an alum of Vandy, and so he's obviously good. Drinkwood's is another great example where his name was being thrown out there. He just got a 6-year extension. And so, why go to those places where they say, hey, within 2 years at Florida, if you're not going for the SEC championship, you're out of there. Well, just stay at Missouri and make a lot of money.
And if they stay at these places and it all works out, they're going to go, man, I made the right decision. Then if it all goes south in a couple of years, they're going to go, man, I could have had the LSU job or the Florida job. It's kind of a no-win situation.
It's all a bunch of
I feel so bad they're paying me $50 million not to coach anymore. So, I mean, what a terrible life I am leading right now.
Yeah. Well, got to get out of here. But Tennessee, they're playing for 9 wins, and that was a lot of people's expectations to start the year, 9, 8, somewhere in that category. Bowl upgrade for them, spoil Vandy's playoff hopes if there's any there on the table, and prevent the loss to Vandy to soil their season. That's the big one. You don't want to lose to Vandy at the end of the year, and of course today's Senior Day, over at Tennessee. So they've got a lot to play for too.
Absolutely.
Hey, we're going to take a timeout here, and we're going to come back to the Vandy Tennessee game later on in the show. But we're going to break, and Donnie Moore will provide us with some high school football scores from last night and some other news from around the area. And veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons will join us with his feature, Mark It Down. You're listening to the Sports Page, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the Goteez Sports Page. Donnie Moore, we had several Blount County football teams in the playoffs, and, Guy, we're down to one, and that one has been there before. They're going back to the state again.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had three Blount County teams in the playoffs, and like you said, and then there was one.
Yeah.
Alcoa is moving on to Chattanooga to play Pearl Cone next week, and Pearl Cone won over South Gibson last night, 42-28. Alcoa will play for the 4A state championship. They've been playing for a 3A state championship, moved up a classification, playing for a state championship. What's changed, Tony? Nothing's changed.
You know, one of these days, if they just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going, they may be the only school in the whole country and the whole world that's ever won every division in football, state championships.
Yeah, name the trophy after Alcoa.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, name the trophy. Yeah.
The Brian Nix Trophy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, 2A was the other classification that had a Blount County team as of the semis last night. Eagleton played Marion County.
Defending state champion.
Defending state champ Marion County. And Marion County showed their true colors last night. They beat Eagleton 44-13.
Yeah.
So Marion County will take on Huntingdon, who won over Milan 35-34 last night. So that was a great ball game. Apparently,
I haven't seen precisely. I believe that was the game where they decided to go for two to get the win at the end and didn't get it.
Didn't get it. That's what happened.
Gotcha.
I believe. I'm not positive, but that was one of the ones I heard.
Yeah. Good run for
Secondhand.
Eagleton, though.
Yeah,
Good run.
Same time,
was,
congratulations for
Yeah.
Eagleton.
And a program that hadn't been around long here, you know. And here they are
No.
making some moves, making some strides.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, the stadium was absolutely packed last night for the game. I mean, just great support, and congratulations to Coach Child and his staff over there. I mean, they've done a wonderful job over there, and I know this community should be very proud of what Eagleton's done.
And you've got the defending state champ coming into your place, and you're a third-year program. So you know they've got a ton of experience, having been here and done that.
Sure.
And
Right.
you're still new, and you know it's a tie game in start to fourth quarter. It's 14-all after Cope got his second touchdown, and then you know the last 5 minutes of the game, Marion County showed all that experience. They get 3 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes, and are able to close it out 33-14, and it's you know you got to give Eagleton credit for even getting there, because we were looking it up, and I think we said last week it had been since Walland hosted a state semifinal was the last time there was a county school had a state semifinal game.
Wow, that far.
So it's a great testament what they've been able to do over there. And this senior class, you know, we were wondering if they were going to be good as that first senior class.
Right.
And they went further.
Yeah.
They did, didn't they? Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, let's see, I got that score reversed, didn't I? It's 33-14 is what it was. That's what it ended up.
And the coaching staff has done a wonderful job of coaching those players over there.
Sure.
And, young and inexperienced, and to now they were a state contender. You know, Carson Newman, we're looking at a couple of their seniors this year. They've been up to visit with us. And
Good deal.
So you know, like I said, you know, great job by Coach Childs and the staff, and putting that program together within a few years and make it a contender. And that's what we're looking for.
Right.
I think one of the other things that kind of shined through, especially last night, but also all through this playoffs, is somebody out there, and it's not just one person, but in the nominees, and I know he was nominated, but he didn't make that semifinal list, was Lane Cope is one of the best players in that classification.
Lane Cope is not just a good football player. He's a good athlete.
Yeah.
He is, but the fact that he was not among the state Mr. Football semifinalists at least is kind of disappointing, because
Kind of a travesty.
that he's showed, I mean, both touchdowns last night.
Yeah.
You know, he's able to do things. We saw him do things last week in the quarterfinals that, you know, the thing was, he's all these numbers against not the best teams.
Yeah.
He was doing it against the best teams in your classification. So how is he not one of your best players in your classification?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we've been, you know, Lane's one of the players that come up and visit with us up at Carson Newman, and he's a great kid, great young man. And
He is.
I mean, he's not D1 size.
Nope.
But he's just one of those guys that if you give him a chance, he will go out and make a play.
Sure.
He's got a D1 heart.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we teased a little bit about the Alcoa at Greenville game last night. That was hyped up to be the game of the year,
correct.
right there. Alcoa at Greenville. Greenville's offense has been more than phenomenal all year long.
Certainly.
But, you know, sometimes you run up against somebody that just doesn't allow you to do what you want to do.
That would be Alcoa.
It would indeed.
Putting it stomping on
It
them.
would indeed. So final score in that one was 35-7 in favor of the Tornadoes. Like I said, they'll play Pearl Cone, who won over South Gibson 42-28. Friday at 11 a.m.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
That's what it says on the website.
I believe it's Saturday.
Okay.
It is Saturday,
It's a
because they
Saturday
are
game?
now in even classification.
Even
so
class goes.
They will play on Saturday.
Okay. So Saturday at 11 o'clock, right?
Yep.
11
in
o'clock.
Chattanooga.
Wow.
At Finley Stadium at University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. If you want to go, you'll see some good football.
And let me say, you know, if you were one of those people buying in that last night was like the game of the year for 4A.
Well,
Yeah, no. Now, the state championship game is Saturday, and don't get too excited yet. I mean, you haven't been given it just because you got there.
no,
This is a
absolutely
Pearl
not.
Cone team that Alcoa has played before.
Mm-hmm.
And the
they're
Firebirds were down
experienced.
21-0 last night,
Oh, were they? Didn't realize that.
and came back, and I believe they scored 35 straight to go back
Wow.
to
Goodness.
take the lead, and ended up being a 42-28 final, like you said. But it took a minute for them to get started last night, but that's a really good team. And to take something, you know, I know this may have been one of those weeks where the outside influences kind of resonated, because there were a lot of people picking against Alcoa
Yeah.
in this Greenville game, and I think the players heard that and dialed into it, and they played with an intensity that I don't think I think the last time we saw Alcoa play that disciplined and aggressive was maybe back in week 1 against Maryville, where they played that type of game, where they were that dialed in and focused. And they may have been more focused last night. And because when we talk about matchups, like, okay, Alcoa lost by 1 with one of its poorer games at Anderson County in the regular season. Yeah. Anderson County, toe-to-toe with Greenville, it comes down to who can drive the ball in the fourth quarter, and Greenville could, and Anderson County couldn't. End up being 28-21. So there were a lot of people thinking, well, Greenville can beat Anderson County, they can beat Alcoa, it's going to be a close game. I thought it was going to be somewhat closer than it was until I saw how Alcoa came out and took the field.
Yeah.
They shut down Greenville on that first drive. They gave them maybe 2 plays, forced them to punt, and just they put Micah Jones back out there in the backfield.
Yep.
And told him before the game, we're going to need you to do 15 to 20 carries and play every defensive snap like you did against Maryville. And Micah did it.
Oh, yeah, he did. And
And
check these stats for Jameer Dean. He had 3 catches for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So
not bad average.
So the funny thing
Not
is,
bad average.
Not a bad evening, huh?
he had 2 deep balls, and you would think that's where the touchdowns came from, but only one of them was. Micah Jones actually threw him a running back pass.
Yes, he did.
For one of those touchdowns, and let me say, that was a bullet. He threaded it between 2 defenders and an outstretched arm to get it right where only Dean could catch it in the corner of the end zone. And you could see, oh, yeah, Micah played quarterback when he was a freshman, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Still got some of that touch on him. But I talked to Dean after the game. So the first bomb that goes to Dean, it was a little cross, and he gets run down from behind at the 8-yard line. I don't think he saw the defender and he didn't realize he needed if he'd make one step to the right, he was good. But let somebody close in behind him. So the second time they get him, they went to him deep. Ended up being a 80-plus yard connection, and I asked him, I was like, what were you thinking when you broke in the open that time? He said, I just kept thinking, don't get caught again. And he just had a nice burst of speed for the last 60 yards of that play. He's just a talented guy.
He really
is. But that ended up being an 86-yard touchdown pass for him.
Yep.
And the guy in everything that went through with the stars from them, you had 200-yard rushers because Micah hit 100 and Damari DeBose went over 100. He had a nice touchdown run to close out the scoring. As a 24-yard, he just came out of a pile, and you had somebody in the secondary sitting there at the 5-yard line. It was the last chance to stop him, and I'm hoping they fix that boy's ankles because there wasn't – he was laying on the ground the wrong way when Damari was in the end zone. It was a nice move.
And Micah's the junior, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So,
Thomas Manu played pretty well, too.
Okay, so that was what I was going to. So if he ran 5 times, picked up 30 yards, had a touchdown run, 6 of 8 with a pick where he got picked off in the end zone at the end of the first half. And it was a 50-50 ball. It could have gone either way, and the safety made a really good play to come up with that pass for the interception. But 6 of 8 and over 200 yards.
Goodness.
Just pedestrian effort from him. Just 6 of 8 for 200 plus. He was named a Mr. Football finalist this week, so he will be going to the award ceremony in Nashville with the Titans. And we'll wish him best of luck. Not every Alcoa player that's gone down there has had the best of luck, but we'll wish him the best of luck. And see what happens down there.
Yeah. But what was impressive about that game is they whooped up on them on their own home field.
Yeah.
I'm sure Greenville's. It's been a while since they've had a weapon like that at home.
So this is what I didn't know until our buddy Heath Dunkel told me this last night. That was Alcoa's first win at Greenville.
Oh, really?
They were 0-2 at Greenville with one cancellation in their 3 trips to Greenville before last night.
Yeah.
So it was the first time they had won up there.
Wow. Well, they don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Marcus,
Played really well.
they're going for their 12th straight state championship. How many overall?
They're 23 right now.
23 overall state championships for Alcoa High School. Here's my question. At what point does it get real difficult to design a ring for a state championship? Donnie Moore, you might want to jump in on that because you got a ring or two.
Yeah,
At what point does it get real difficult to come up with a design?
I think it's hitting it right now.
That's
It's hitting it right now.
that's why they pay these companies big bucks to just design them and get them out here.
Yeah. That ring's probably going to have to be one of those grills right there, like that. I mean,
So here's one that you can think about the implications of this, of how successful Alcoa has been. So 39 playoff appearances.
Goodness.
Their playoff record after last night is 144-15.
Wow. Unbelievable.
That's pretty incredible.
yeah, you just can't.
That would be impressive for a regular season type record.
Yeah.
But that's their playoff record.
Wow.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, you're hitting numbers and marks that you're not going to see again.
No, you will.
Not
I don't
in our
think you'll
lifetime.
ever see a program do this again.
Alcoa needs to go from this deal right now, where we're at in the state, and they need to go for a national championship in high school sports. Donnie, are we at that point with Alcoa where they just are now a national contender, and you go out and you get some teams that are in that level, and you play for a national championship instead of a state championship?
For a public school.
Be playing on ESPN.
Yes, yeah.
For
Game day's going to be there for
public
sure.
school.
Yeah.
That is their size. The fact that they are ranked in the Max Prep's top 100 at all is amazing. But they've been there. They've been skirting around the outside of the top 100 early in the year, and they've been in there a couple times. So it's just impressive that they're able to do that. I mean,
small
it's hard to
schools,
maintain. It's hard to maintain that level of play year after year after year
in a high school.
In high school,
because you have a run of really good players, and then you kind of have a run of,
You can go to, you might have a really good class, and you have that classic problem of, those guys are playing, and they're doing all this and getting all this experience, but, then these other guys are not behind them, and it sucks up playing time, and how do you balance it? Yeah. Alcoa has done a great job of making sure they get guys on the field to play.
And again, those teams that are in that top 100, I mean, they're 6, 7A high schools. They're still, Alcoa's just, 4A now, right?
4, yeah.
But, for years.
They've chosen to play 4A. They're a 3A school who opted up.
Right, because no one else in 3A will play them unless they're in that district. And so,
well, the thing was, when Alcoa made that decision, they got an 8-team district in playing in 4A.
Yeah.
So they had 7 guaranteed games, which was something they haven't had in 10 years in 3A.
Correct.
So, that was a big incentive for them to move up. And I'm looking forward to the weekend. And for Greenville, they've had a great year. I don't want to take anything away from them because that was a really good team. Alcoa was able to do the one thing nobody's been able to do with Greenville all year, and that was their defense contained Caden Baugh.
Yes.
He only had, I believe, 30 yards rushing.
That sounds close.
And it was, I think, 7 of 14, something like that, passing.
Yeah.
Not even 100 yards. But they were able to keep him. They were able to put pressure on him without overrunning him, which is what a lot of teams have done. Like they if they went after him, he would just move forward and run and burn you for 15 yards. They were able to put pressure on him without bringing the house, and then still have somebody back there that if he slipped through, they had another defender coming to bring him down.
Right.
And that happened several times where he made the first and second guy miss, but it was the third guy that brought him down.
Yeah.
And that was the impressive thing.
Let's not forget the fact also, we talk about the players. What a great coaching staff Coach Nix has put together.
Oh, boy.
I mean, those guys are college level. type of coaches easily, and they're so very knowledgeable. I've seen so many of their practices, and in the things that they talk about during their individual drills and their technique that they use. I mean, it's no different than going to a college program watching college coaches talking to their players. I mean, so they're extremely well coached.
Yeah, the coaching staff's been together for a long time.
Same thing with Maryville High School too.
Sure.
I mean, just
both
great coaches. On the little staffs.
No
and one thing, it trickles down because you talk to some players after a game, and you ask them about a play and what happened, and they're pretty laid back, and it's like, oh, I was able to get open, and he just made a great throw. Most Alcoa players at this point in time, especially on the offense, they can tell you exactly how they set up what happened, and what they executed and what they did to get that defense and create that matchup. Yeah. They've got the football IQ is very high over there with most of their players, which is a testament to the coaching staff that they're not just saying do this, do that. They're explaining why you do this and do that.
At Carson Newman we have Eli Graff and J.T. Turner. They're freshmen, redshirt, but man, when you talk to them, I mean, it's almost like a whole different level of young player on our team that we have. Whenever I talk football to them, JT and Eli, I mean, they're a notch ahead of a lot of players that we have right now. And again, that comes from the background that they've received over at Alcoa.
It sure does.
And that kind of leads us into our next question, Tony.
What I do?
mean, do you want to give me an intro to flip it over? Or we just going to say we're going to mark it down from here on out.
Well, let me tell you this before we go.
Okay. Close out the scoreboard for us.
Before we go, a lot of good basketball being played in early December, and even tonight, Heritage takes on Tri-Cities Christian in their Thanksgiving tournament over there, and so if you want to see some good basketball, it's already started. Yep. So
it's here.
Go see some
high
school basketball.
You don't have a live update from Heritage Girls, do you?
I do
what
not.
They did this morning?
No.
They should be finishing up this.
They should be
about now. Or they may. Let's start. They tipped at 10. So
where are they playing at?
They're hosting their Thanksgiving tournament.
They're hosting their tournament. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the boys play later this afternoon. If you're looking for something to do, if you want to come down and buy some Christmas gifts at the holiday market, and then you can go out to Heritage, catch a basketball game.
Heritage.
Good place to be at. Absolutely.
That's right. Exactly.
You can go head up to Townsend and get dinner and call it a day.
All right, Marcus, that's it for the Mandy B Street Realty local focus, and I'm gonna throw you a quick out, and there we go. He's caught it already. You're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM Mid-Century Radio, and now here's Marcus Fitzsimmons for his feature, Mark It Down.
Well, we're going to pick on Tony because he's been nice enough to join us this morning.
Oh, you got all the relatives waving.
If y'all been noticing, if every time if you're watching this on video, every time Tony turns around, it's because there's another group of Clan Iruli wandering by.
We're all over the place.
I'm not sure if they're waving high or if they're telling you they got the payoff money or what.
Or they're giving you a blessing.
Could be.
Any one of these things. We were kind of teasing you a little bit earlier, but
no.
I mean, y'all weren't in you did just short of the playoffs.
Yeah.
We were still kind of crossing fingers, maybe an at-large, but it didn't happen. But it was still a good season for Carson Newman.
It was. I mean, ever since Coach Ingram and the new coaches that joined our staff, I mean, it's a whole different environment over at Carson Newman, and Coach Ingram and several of our coaches came from the Naval Academy. And so it brought back that discipline I think is was needed in our program, but is needed in a lot of programs as well. And so we finished up the season with an 8-3 record. We lost the 3 games by a total of like 13 points. We played for the conference championship against Newberry, the second last game of the season, and where they beat us 28-21. We had the ball inside the 10-yard line with 40 seconds left to go in the game. Didn't get the ball in.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it was a heartbreaker. And we just got they took 2 teams from our conference to go in the playoffs, and we just got edged out, trying to get that 3rd spot. Mm-hmm. But still, we're at a good place. I mean, it's a great enthusiasm. We started the team. It gives you the numbers. Division II level, they have a lot of players on the team. We had started the season with about 170 players on our team. We've only lost like 14 during the regular season. I mean, people want to be there, and I think we're doing things the right way. We have an outstanding strength and conditioning program. The coaches really care about our players, and therefore, we're recruiting the right guys. And so it's great. I think we're going to be loaded up again next year. And again, I mentioned, I'm looking forward next year to seeing Eli Graff and Jameer Turner, two Alcoa guys, and we have a couple of other players from different schools as well from locally. But I'm looking forward to seeing them come on and start being contributing to our program next year as well.
So, I mean, when you talk about the discipline that's back with that program, I know that there are coaches out there who'd say, "Oh, this day and age, you just can't get kids that want to do that. I mean, they can transfer at the drop of a dime, and they can do this. Nobody wants. No, you can't do that anymore." But to me, I think it actually can be a selling point because I think you have players, especially smart players, who appreciate the work, appreciate the discipline, appreciate being held accountable. Want somebody to push them to be accountable, and see that same standard applied across the board.
Totally agree. I mean, and that's what we do. I mean, it's like there's a way we're going to conduct ourselves. All right, we're not going to be going out there cussing and swearing and doing all those type of things that you see a lot of people do. We're going to handle ourselves properly before games, after games. We're not going to be doing a lot of that trash talking that you see over there. When we go to meetings, there's a certain way we dress.
Right.
We come to meetings, wearing the Carson Newman stuff. I've seen some programs that players would come to meetings wearing pajama bottoms and slippers, going into player like that. I mean, it's ridiculous things like that. And
not at CN.
No, not at CN. But there's a certain standard. Whatever your standard you set for your program needs to be followed. And once you start wavering on that standard, then kids naturally are going to go ahead and try to take a little bit of advantage of it. And so there's a certain way we dress. There's a certain way how we conduct ourselves during practices. We don't do all that fighting and stuff at practice. And if stuff that happens, the coaches, it doesn't matter if it's the head coach or assistant coach. Assistant coaches usually jump on it before the head coach even notices what's going on. But we take care of things, and so the standard of Carson Newman has been changed, and therefore that's why I think we've been successful the last two seasons.
So the big question I have, because you see players on a daily basis, you know what they're doing, and I noticed this trend creeping in about a year or two ago. Do Carson Newman players walk to class, or are these guys who are taking taking those scooters and taking the electronic short ride?
Yeah.
Is scooters a thing at Carson Newman?
Not really. I think they walk. And if I saw some players on scooters, they'd probably wreck. So they need to stay off those scooters.
I've seen this on college campuses, and I'm baffled by. I'm like, you're for all legitimate purposes a professional athlete, and you can't walk across the quad.
No.
I don't get that, but
yeah. Carson Newman's not a scooter place. You got to learn to walk out from one end, and some of them's got pretty good walk going from one end of the campus where the dormitories on the other end of campus. And we kind of discourage any scooter type of use at our place. But
that's good. That's good to know. It reaffirms the high standard.
Yeah,
I thought
and the one thing you don't want to see is Tony Iruli on a scooter. That'd be that's a
actually.
crash.
I think if we wanted to start a GoFundMe, I think I might go see that. I think if we could get the donations,
It
for
might
that,
be entertaining.
That would be. What was it, about 4 or 5 years ago? We used to have the
Can we get a float in the parade in 2 weeks and see if we can get Tony on a scooter?
Let's do that.
No.
We talked to Brian about that. He can follow the Goteez truck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could surf behind.
I would surf behind the Goteez.
Behind the Goteez truck.
Oh my God, that'd be it. But remember, 4 or 5 years ago, where we used to have the the bucket plunge and all that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we used to do that all the time.
Of course.
That was always a lot of fun. And my players, the defense linemen, they had me talking about it like this, and they snuck up behind me and dumped a whole bucket of ice water on me. And that's, I'm still trying to recover from it right now.
Yeah, this is a day to make you think about it really
Yeah,
hard.
I don't want to stay with it. Well, thanks.
Tony, I appreciate you sharing a little bit with us. He's not going anywhere, folks. You can still hear some more.
Still,
Tony,
I like this.
we wanted to give a chance to plug Carson Newman a little bit.
Well, good. And be honest with you, our friendship has lasted a long, long time. Even more than I deserve. But I appreciate the opportunity always to be around with good friends, and Carol's very happy because it gets me out of the house. that's why they're away. They're saying, please keep them there for a lot longer and all that.
Well, you got a standing invitation, our friend.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Anytime you want to show up, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Tony, on your Christmas gift to your wife this year, are you going to make sure that you don't get the same ring that you've given the last? You give the same ring the last 2 years. Have you got it in your head what kind of ring you gave her last year? You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to have a three-peat on this deal.
Yeah. Carol said, "Oh, good, I got the same one 2 years ago." Oh, God.
But it was a nice ring,
It was
wasn't
a very nice ring and all that. So Carol and I have come to understanding whenever it comes to jewelry, I need to run it by her first. But that was one of my golden moments. And once again, and thank you very much for bringing it up. It just brought back great memories. Yeah. It was nice eating dinner alone that night.
Yes, that backing up of the bus over Tony's ego was brought to you by Mike Edwards.
Thank you very much. And y'all had a hand in it, so I appreciate that.
And Mike, if you're ready, we'll go ahead and turn the page, take a break, and come back.
Okay. Hey, it's time to turn the page, and next up is the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segment. You're listening to the Goteez Sports Page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew, and now it's time for the Goteez Sports Page Player of the Week segment, sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority, proudly serving Blount County for over 100 years. And Marcus Fitzsimmons, we're going to head back into some UT football here.
I think we will. I mean, we'll give another plug out here to the holiday market. And like I told Tony, if he's really looking hard to get something different, the permanent jewelry tent is right across from us.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if that means that they have to staple it in or how exactly permanent it is. But
they got the Tony I really section already.
They have a crowd around there.
And Tony, the great thing about it, everything's negotiable up here.
Yeah, I mean,
this morning.
That's true.
It's amazing how my friends really bond together whenever you bring up a Tony I really story.
Oh, man.
And people listening say, is that really true? And yes.
We couldn't make this stuff
up. Make it up.
And we say, as far as you know, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say this. The best holiday dress so far is definitely going to the dogs. These dogs have been, most of these dogs have had Santa hats, and if not that, a T-shirt or something else to help them keep warm. And the people are just bundled up, but the dogs are decked out festively.
Indeed, they
are. That's usually the case at our house. Our dogs dress better than I am most of the time, so you know.
You have Goteez Sports Page gear, Mike.
Yeah, that's about all I got. Yeah.
Well, we used to have it.
Yeah.
You can't say oops. Mike, go ahead and get us started on UT before Donnie gets us in trouble.
Coach, let's go back to Vanderbilt today at Tennessee, and that game is going to kick off, I think, at 3:30.
3:30, right.
3:30 this afternoon on ABC. Is that correct? I believe it's ABC.
I think it is.
Yeah. And what does Tennessee need to do to win this football game?
Well, I think they need to, obviously establish a running game against them. be hard and physical. I think Tennessee's mindset is, they're still, can kind of go at them there. But what always makes Tennessee successful is they do a very good job with the up-tempo type of offense, and being able to incorporate that as well. But it's been years, obviously, that where you feel like the matchups are pretty even in a lot of different areas right there.
Yeah.
Tennessee's obviously got a good running attack, but they're Vanderbilt's very strong on defense, and then of course Pavio at the quarterback position, is the difference maker. For them offensively as well. And
so what do they do with him defensively?
I think what they've got to do is a good job of making sure that they keep those receivers in front of them. They'll try to do a lot of misdirection type of stuff, and it's going to really depend on how well that secondary is very, very disciplined. Because when Pavio is successful, it's usually when he kind of all of a sudden breaks that pocket, is on the move. And creates opportunities for them to be successful.
Yeah.
And so they've got to try to, kind of keep.
Do you put a defensive man on that side of the ball that's just eyeing Pavia? I mean, just eyeing because he runs the ball so well.
Yeah. I think when they go into man, they go man-to-man situations. A lot of times, what happens is they can't account for a quarterback that scrambles around who's very mobile. So what they're going to do is sometimes, rush three, line up with 4 men on the line of scrimmage, all right, but drop one of those, what we call a jack end, who's an athletic defensive end, and get him to really spy that quarterback. Rush 3 and doing some twists with the guys up front, but having that fourth defensive end, that jack defensive end, kind of spy him. They got to keep him under account.
They've got to put some constant pressure on Pavia, or he's going to. If he gets a lot of time to throw the ball, he's going to find somebody.
Correct. Then of course when he's if there's no one there, then he's going to take off. And again, if you're running downfield to cover the receivers, now that just opens and creates spaces for him to run around.
Exactly. He's a tough guy, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's a tough guy to bring down. And I've not seen many quarterbacks like this. He'll run. And we'll see how the courts play out with him and maybe another year. But you got
you can't make this stuff up. Yeah, it depends how the courts play out. And see if you get him another year.
I think as Pavio goes, that Vanderbilt team goes.
Oh yeah,
pretty much, don't you think?
Obviously, and like I said, I mean, the enthusiasm excitement about Vanderbilt football, was something that now in our lifetimes we've really seen before, except for the brief period when Franklin was the head coach at Vandy about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's great, and it makes we kind of allude to it. It makes Tennessee's schedule now. They got to really play it out through the entire season.
Well, if they win today, if you look back on the year, they're going to say, "Well, we were 9-3," but a lot of that 9-3 looks like a box score where you hit 2 loopers into the left field, but they look like line drives because you really haven't beaten anybody. You're going around saying, well, I feel good about our season. We were 9-3, and we played Georgia good, and we played Oklahoma good, and we played Alabama good,
but you didn't beat them.
Those are the game. 2 of those games out of the 3 you were expected to lose, and the only one you came out with was Florida, and they were having a disaster of a year. So it's really on the line today. It's not only Vanderbilt. It's the quality win that you're going to go back and say, well, that's the win we got.
That's a quality win because
until the bowl game.
Again, they played. New Mexico State. They played. Maybe they play UT Chattanooga. Exactly right. This is the chance that they have that.
And listen, if they don't come out of this game today, you're looking at Iowa, probably in a bowl game, or you're looking at Louisville.
Yeah.
Vice versa, you may be looking at maybe a Michigan in a Citrus Bowl.
Correct.
I mean, you see where I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly
that's where we're at with this game here
right,
today, and the look back on this season.
Correct.
So it's big. Hey, let's talk about Vanderbilt. What does Vanderbilt have to do, Coach, to win this game today?
Well, I think go there and not let something happen early in the game that kind of gets them out of their routine, what they want to do. All right, big game like this, making sure that Tennessee doesn't jump out real quick
in the first quarter.
Yeah. Correct. Maybe get a touchdown real quick, then get a turnover that leads to another touchdown. Don't get down by 14 at the end of the first quarter. Stay there with the game because, again, the longer Vandy stays in the game with Tennessee, the more confidence Vandy gets.
That's right.
All right. As close as the game will be on the Tennessee side, I think they start losing their confidence if it's close. And so, so that's what I think Vandy's got to be able to do. Stay close, don't get behind early, and then just play the success what they're doing.
Or if you do, have it in your mind that it's okay. If you go down 14 in the first and you're Vanderbilt, don't panic. Don't change what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just keep on plugging along, because you can look at what's happened with Alabama and what Georgia were able to do with Tennessee. The key to success is not panicking. It's just to keep on playing your game.
Correct.
And trust Tennessee to do some things that are not going to work out in their favor in the second and third quarters.
Yeah. Coach, I really, you'd like to think that the crowd's going to have something to do with this game today, but, from a Vanderbilt standpoint, they play 12 games during the year, and for most of those games, even the home games, they don't have a home court advantage or home field advantage.
No.
So I don't know if that's going to be a big factor with them or not.
I remember days going back years ago when Peyton Manning was the quarterback at UT and going to a Vanderbilt Tennessee game, and 3/4 of the stadium was UT.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they're used to that. I don't think that's going to be a factor at all. They're used to playing at home and not having the crowd behind them.
Let's talk about Vanderbilt's playoff chances if they come out of this game. What are their chances with 2 losses?
I think they're close, but
they need some help.
Yes,
they
yes.
do. They need some help.
They would need Auburn.
Losses.
Auburn to beat Alabama.
They need Auburn to beat Alabama.
And Oklahoma probably needs to get beat.
It would help them tremendously if Oklahoma did, to put them into that conversation. But at the end of the day, if you get to that level of Vanderbilt being a legitimate consideration, you're probably weighing them in Texas. And you can say Texas beat Vanderbilt. So
Yeah.
that's going to come – and then Vanderbilt will say, well, Texas has 3 losses. And
one of them's to Florida.
And that loss to Florida stands out.
That loss to Florida.
Yeah.
That's
But
the one
that hurt them.
That's the one that's going to haunt
Yeah.
Texas.
But
that loss to Florida.
Then the committee has that out of the eye test that they talked about when before the first rankings came out. Because is there a team right now playing better than is Vanderbilt playing better than Texas right now? I mean, if you looked at them and saw what Texas and Manning did yesterday to A&M, it's kind of hard to argue Texas isn't playing like one of the best 12 teams, but that's not what matters.
But Coach Iruli, Texas has a Manning.
That's kind of
You want to talk about that a little bit? I'm not taking anything away from Pavia because he's a Heisman candidate.
correct.
But Texas, and let me emphasize it, they have a Manning.
They got a Manning who sells sunglasses.
Exactly.
All right, or bifocals,
There we go.
or something like that. And and he's playing well. I mean, he's come back in the last 2-3 games. He's played pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I just didn't like how he came into the season and they're talking about him winning the Heisman Trophy, where he only played very limited as last season. All that he's got to earn that that opportunity and all that. And I think he's earned it because he's had some ups and downs throughout the season. And, he came up big in a big game last night, and so he's just got to keep building on that right now.
And, the way he can play and the way the team played around him yesterday was probably the best that they've played all year.
Yes.
But there's been so many times where your star quarterback is not on the same page with your team for one reason or another, and you're coming away empty on drives where you should have capitalized.
But, again, people forget, though, he's never really played until this year.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so he's going to, that's why I didn't like how they were giving him, hey, he could win the Heisman. No, the guy's still trying to figure things out here, and now maybe talk about it a little bit more for next year. Mm-hmm. But the overhype that he was getting going into the season, I thought was did not qualify him to be in the
Well, that hurt him more than helped him, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
as far as this year goes.
And the thing was, he's a junior, right? This is his 3rd year.
Yeah, I think so. Who knows?
So,
who knows?
when you look at it in those terms, that's when his uncles were getting all the Heisman hype.
Yeah.
But his uncles had also started basically 2 seasons before that.
Correct.
He did. Tony's right. He didn't have that experience. He came in spots, and he filled in some games last year.
And when he came in, he kind of ran the ball.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was not really throwing the ball or anything.
So he didn't have that experience of playing complete seasons to go with it.
Right.
We talk about, Tony, we talk about the playoffs, and we
Yeah.
talk about how important it is to win late.
Yeah.
And you've got Texas now that's beaten an undefeated, until yesterday, a Texas A&M team.
Right.
On the other hand, you got Vanderbilt, and let's say Vanderbilt beats Tennessee today, and they've got every right to argue their point to get in, but you're looking at them beating Tennessee and Texas beating Texas A&M, and you're looking if you're the guys on that committee and you're saying, well, yeah, that was a big win against Tennessee. Now let's look at see who Tennessee beat.
Yeah. I mean,
Can't
they're-
find anybody.
You
then.
can't find anybody. On the other hand, you're looking at Texas A&M. They're going, hey, they beat Notre Dame up in South Bend, and they beat here. And you see what I'm saying here?
Sure.
Sure do.
Well, again, Texas A&M, they're ranked third this weekend. So if they lost, they're dropping down to what 10th or something like that or whatever. I mean, they're still going to be in the top 12
Yeah.
to get themselves in the playoffs and all
Yeah.
that. It's Texas,
And they're not going to have to play that SEC championship game.
No,
So
it's Texas trying to fight to
And-
get themselves in the top 12 because I think they 15th or 16th going into this
Yeah.
weekend and such.
yeah. And Texas A&M, you want to play for championships, but with them not having a chance to play for the championship, they can concentrate now on the playoffs. You
Yeah,
see, and
exactly right.
And going with that. So
Sure.
not have to risk a
Now,
second loss.
does it hurt teams now that play in a championship compared to teams that don't play in a championship?
Well, I'll tell you right
in
now,
terms
let's
of the
say
ranking?
Alabama beats Auburn, which they should
should,
do,
yeah.
and you got what, Alabama and Georgia playing in the SEC championship,
Yeah.
and Georgia beats Alabama. Now, Alabama's got 3 losses. I think they're out of the playoffs.
They should. Yeah, I think they
I
would
think
be
they're
too.
out.
But
I mean,
I
you
thought
know-
I heard somewhere where the committee was
They were not
going
gonna
to
penalize you.
not going to penalize you for
You would
being
still
in,
get
you know.
in, but your seating would still be impacted.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
because
tell you
because there's teams that they don't have a championship game.
what, they can say all that.
But then
they
again,
want.
like I reported last week, if the top 2 teams coming out of the SEC championship don't make the playoffs, the SEC may just take its ball and go home.
Well, let me emphasize this again.
Okay, do it. Go.
Alabama does not have a Manning. And if they've got 3 losses, they're not going in. If Texas has got 3 and Alabama's going in, Texas has Manning. They're going in. And Alabama is out
There you
if
go.
they lose
Yeah.
in a
I
championship
don't
game.
think so, but we'll see.
Okay. All right.
We'll see.
Okay.
Hey, time for a break, and when we return, it's the Boys Sports Spotlight. You're listening to the Goteez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, and it's time for the Boys Sports Spotlight segment. And to get us going, I'm going to turn it over to Donnie Moore. And Donnie, with all the sports that's going on now, I don't think you had much trouble getting this together, did you?
No, headlines are not a problem this time of year. Absolutely. You have to pick and choose which ones to leave in and which ones to take out.
Yeah.
Let's start with our sports headlines here, brought to you as always by our friends at Fast Signs. Well, the current college football quarterback power rankings are in for this week. Coming in at number 5 is Hoosier signal caller Fernando Mendoza, who has 30 touchdown passes on the season. Number 4, coming in at number 4, Gunnar Stockton from Georgia, who was ranked number 1 last week. Number 3 is North Texas redshirt freshman Drew Mestamaker, whose 26 touchdowns are tied for 4th nationally. Number 2 is Texas A&M redshirt sophomore Marcel Reed, who played pretty well last night. His 25 touchdown passes are good for 2nd in the SEC. And coming in at the top spot, it's Vanderbilt's Diego Pavia.
Who put this out?
CBS Sports.
CBS Sports.
Yeah.
Can I put mine out?
Yes, you may. What you got?
Coming in at number 1, I've got Fernando Mendoza, quarterback at Indiana. Number 1. Number 2, I've got Jeremiah Love, the running back at Notre Dame, as number 2, and what a year he's had. I've got Diego Pavia, quarterback at Vanderbilt, number 3.
Number 3.
I've got Julian Sayin, quarterback at Ohio State, number 4.
Number
4.
Yeah.
I got Marcel Reed, quarterback at Texas A&M 5, and Gunnar Stockton, quarterback at Georgia. He only put 16 points up yesterday against Georgia Tech, who everybody in the SEC in a conference that they don't think they can play, and he beats Georgia Tech by 7 points down there. I don't think so. So you got it for me right there.
So you got some of the same people. It's just
I got
a bit of a different placement right there.
Different placement.
Diego Pavia, I was going to tell you, became the first quarterback this season to throw for 480-plus yards and 5 touchdowns in a game versus Kentucky, which Vandy won 45-17.
And listen, and go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. They won it 45-17 and had 532 yards of total offense.
I really like him because, and I won't want to take anything away from Vanderbilt in the least, but the other schools, Indiana undefeated, Ohio State undefeated, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, and Georgia. You're talking about teams that have been in the playoffs past. Yeah. They're up there this year, and there's Vanderbilt. He doesn't have and again, I don't want to take anything away from Vanderbilt. He doesn't have the players around him that these other schools have got. Nope. And to have the year he's had, tremendous. It's
pretty phenomenal.
And you know what's amazing is also this. You know, we've talked for about an hour and a half about most time football and things like that. Rarely have we even mentioned Indiana.
No, they're a basketball school. Forever.
It's number 2 in the country. Got some great players and all that, and it still hardly ever gets mentioned, even on the
they fly below the radar, don't they?
They certainly do.
I'd say Signetic's come in there, and he's done a great job, and I think he's up for Coach of the Year. That's who's got my vote. And I'll tell you, you can say, well, they don't play a very hard schedule. They ended up with Purdue the other night, and you can throw that out there. But I don't care if you're in the Big Ten, the SEC, or the Big 12 or you go 2 years regular season, Coach Iruli, and you don't lose a football game.
Sure.
You got a pretty good program.
Yes,
well, they're not saying that about Michigan or Ohio State when they talk about them, about their schedule.
Listen, you're not squeaking through a lot of those games either. No. You're beating the living hound out of a lot of those
blowing
teams.
people out.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, that 532 yards of total offense that Vanderbilt had, that's more total yards than any Vandy player since 1996.
Yeah.
And Pavia's ranking last week, 8th. And he jumped from 8th to 1st.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuzzy Zeller. Here's a name for you. Fuzzy Zeller.
Great.
The 1979 Masters champion has died at the age of 74. Zeller, one of the most gregarious characters in the history of the game, also won the Masters in 1984. Cause of death was not provided for Mr. Zeller, but he's going to be
a fun
missed.
person, to watch and play and all that.
No question. Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo wants desperately to get back on the court. Giannis suffered a strained adductor muscle in the Bucks' November 17 loss to Cleveland and hasn't played since. Milwaukee is winless during that time as well. The Bucks medical team has said they don't want the superstar to return prematurely, so they're kind of trying to put the brakes on him, and he said, I got to play.
Yeah, he wants to play, and they're saying slow it down.
He probably will. Vanderbilt head football coach Clark Lee, we've been talking about Vanderbilt, but Clark Lee has been signed to a contract extension this week, but since Vandy is a private school, The terms of the agreement were not released and are not available in public records.
Yeah.
Well, I can guarantee they're not going to pay him as much as he could have got paid at Florida or LSU or
true.
some of these other jobs that are open. So I admire him for that, to stand at Vanderbilt and continue to build there. And,
Oh,
Me too. Me too.
I mean, he's not going to be able to bring Diego with him if he were to go somewhere else.
No,
So.
absolutely not. ESPN stated that the extension is for 6 years and includes promises of facility upgrades. And they desperately need that.
And plus, a big factor,
too.
again, is he's an alumni from Vandy, and, and he wants to have them great success.
And he said, he had a quote that said his work in Nashville is not complete. So he's going to
That's exactly who needs to be there for the rest.
Coach, you know what the key is to those facilities being improved, don't you?
Yeah.
W's.
That's
winning.
Right. Dubs.
If you don't think that's the way it goes, you look at what Indiana's drawing up there right now and what they drew about 10 years ago up there, and what parking was across the street at the church from the stadium back 10 years ago, and what parking is at that church right now today to get across there. You know, it's winning will get you.
That solves a lot of problems.
It solves a lot of problems.
It sure does.
Except at Maryville College, they're still using the same locker room.
If you're winning,
you
got a lot less problems. A lot less problems to worry about.
Well, Texas women's basketball is hot right now.
They?
In the Players Era Women's Championship held in Las Vegas this week, we talked about that a little bit earlier, the Longhorns defeated not one but two top 5 teams. On Wednesday, number 4 Texas beat number 3 UCLA 76-65 in the semifinal. And then Thursday, they finished the task with a 66-64 victory over number 2 South Carolina. Longhorn Rory Harmon was named Tourney Most Valuable Player for the 7-0 Texas team.
Boy, they're good.
Unbeaten yet.
We're good.
Yeah. NASCAR legend Jimmy Johnson has announced that he'll return to the sport for one race only in June 2026. Johnson, who is 50 years old, will compete in one race this season, and it will be in Southern California at Coronado in San Diego.
He's going to compete in a race at 50 years old?
He is,
One
indeed.
race.
One race.
Well, I'm 75. I could do one game.
Hey, you could do that.
I can do one game if I could get my eligibility.
Just tell them you're going to compete in one game this year. Just feed you the ball.
Hey, I don't know what the big deal is. I'm 60 years old and I drive down Alcoa Highway every day. I mean,
taking your life into your own hands,
I mean,
right
there. That's a breeze ride. He's doing. Go Alcoa Highway early in the morning.
You probably got a year left too, don't you? You were on that freshman team deal, weren't you?
Easily.
Johnson, who is a 7-time Cup champion, said that racing at Coronado will make his career come full circle. He grew up in El Cajon.
All right.
So,
all right.
Tell him to go down Alcoa Highway.
That's it.
It'll come full circle.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like playing a video game, isn't it, when you're out there on
it sure is.
Yeah. Which side of the mountain's going to come down this trip?
This day in sports, 11:29. Here are some goodies for you. 1926, Trish Speaker resigns as manager of the Cleveland Indians while facing game-fixing allegations.
No.
Yeah, Trish
Never.
Speaker. Hall of Famer.
It'd be legal now.
Yeah, it would. 1934, the Bears defeat the Lions 19-16 in the first NFL game to be broadcast nationally.
Yeah. And speaking of the Bears, how about the Bears this year?
I'm telling you.
What, 9-3 and beat Philadelphia yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was at Philly, too.
The Bears.
It was.
That's right. It was at Philly.
It was.
Yes, it was at
Because
Philadelphia.
they're walking out early. Even Santa Claus left early.
Yeah.
1960, the Heisman Trophy awarded to Navy halfback Joe Bellino. Remember him?
I certainly do.
I figured you would.
Yeah. Played at Navy.
Yes, sir. 1962, Major League Baseball reverts to only one All-Star game per year after 4 seasons with 2.
That's right. They used to have 2.
One for the American League, one for the National League, right?
No, one was in mid-season.
There you go.
And one was at the end of the season.
But they reverted to only one in 1962. 1971, the first Pro Golf Championship was held at Walt Disney World. 1971. I guess Disney World had just been built then.
It's just been built, yeah.
It's brand new. 1976, Yankees signed free agent Reggie Jackson to a 5-year contract. 1987, 49ers quarterback Joe Montana completes an NFL record 22 consecutive passes
Really?
completed. Wow.
Legend.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Montana.
He got a few Super Bowl rings himself.
He does. 2021 FIFA Ballon d'Or, the Golden Balloon Award, was presented to Lionel Messi, who won his record 7th Ballon d'Or. He's one of
Who's
the,
that?
he may be the GOAT. Who knows?
Does he play at Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
No,
No, not yet.
Not a joke.
NIL. Birthdays, 1924, Minnie Minoso, a Cuban-American Hall of Fame left fielder, 9-time All-Star, Gold Glove
White
winner
Sox.
in 1957, 59, and 1960. Played for the Chi Sox. You're right,
Yep,
Tony.
White
Yeah.
Sox.
Born in Perico, Cuba. Died in 2015.
Heck of a player. My
Yep,
dad
he
used to
was.
call him Mini So-and-so.
Many so-and-so, yeah. 1927, born on this day, sportscaster Vin Scully.
There you go.
Brooklyn and Los Angeles Dodgers. He was their announcer and their broadcaster from 1950 to 2016.
Legend.
Imagine that.
Legend.
That's a long time. Born in the Bronx, New York, and died in 2022. 1969, born on this day, Mariano Rivera, Hall of Fame pitcher, 13-time All-Star, World Series appearance, World Series MVP in 1999. Yankees was who he played for, born in Panama City, Panama.
Wow.
Not Panama City, Florida,
Not
but Panama City,
okay,
Panama.
The original Panama.
That's right.
Okay.
The OG. 1988, born on this day, quarterback Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winner in 2013, played for the Seahawks and the Giants, born in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Born in Cincinnati. Deaths on this day, 1974, James J. Braddock, world heavyweight champion from 1935 to 1937, died at the age of 69.
Cinderella Man.
Cinderella Man.
He-
Yep,
I'm
right.
telling you.
What a great movie that was.
Yeah.
Oh,
1975, Graham Hill, Formula One champion, 1962 and 1968. Won the Indy 500 in 1966.
He did at that.
Died while landing a plane in fog near London at 46
On
years
an
of age.
expired license.
Wow.
He had an expired license.
46 years of age.
Yeah. He started in the backpack of the Indy 500 in '66, and they had a massive wreck right at the starting line. Took out about half the field. And after the race in Victory Lane, they asked him about all the humbug there at the start of the race, and he said, "Yeah, I was right in the middle of all of that. Actually, I felt like I was kind of being bombed." That's what he said in Victory Lane. But what a great champion! What a great
was,
he had a great sense of wit too.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a great driver and a great ambassador for the sport.
Died on this day in 2000, Lou Groza, kicker
Yeah.
and offensive
Cleveland
tackle
Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
for the Cleveland Browns, 9-time Pro Bowler. Died of a heart attack at 76.
Also played offensive line, I think, as well.
Yeah, he was an offensive tackle.
Yep.
Yeah, sure was. 2021 died on this day. Lamar Hoyt, pitcher,
White
won
Sox.
the American League Cy Young Award in 1983. Another Chicago White Sox player.
I got the
Yeah.
White Sox. And by the way, the Pope's favorite team, the White Sox.
That's it.
Not the Cubs.
Died of cancer at 66. And that's all for this week's sports headlines, brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs.
And
I'm Donnie Moore. Back to you, Gunner.
Hey, I'm always so happy that my name is not mentioned at that very
There
end
we go.
like that. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, if I don't have you in headlines,
Made it through-
you're still kicking. And
made it through another week.
that's it, man.
I am Mike Edwards, and I am here with Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons and Coach Tony Iruli. And Coach Iruli, I want to talk about something that's going on, and I don't know, we may get an announcement before the show's over with, but let's talk about Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
You know, is he going to go to LSU, or is he going to stay at Ole Miss, or what's the Lane?
question of
what's
the
the
day.
Lane train going to
Well,
do?
I hope he doesn't go. The reason being,
Me too.
he can be at Ole Miss making $50 million contract, $60 million contract for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
His son's a high school player locally.
Yeah.
He's got a great
Knox.
family. Knox. He was born here when
Born in Knoxville, that's right.
The one year he was here. and he could be the guy at Ole Miss, and he could have years when he wins 7, 8 games and never have to worry about losing his job.
Exactly.
He goes to LSU, which obviously is the more of a premium type of job. But, you know, if he's not winning a SEC championship within 2-3 years, they're getting ready to fire him.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
that's the same trap that Mullins fell into when he went to Florida, where he was at Mississippi State. He could be winning 7, 8 games. He'd still be the head coach of Mississippi State. He goes to Florida, and I think he had like a 67% winning percentage, and they still fired him. And so that's I'm hoping he doesn't, but you know that lure of money.
You and me both.
Oh,
Tony.
yeah.
What's sad about the whole thing to me
Yeah.
is the fact that Lane Kiffin has always been kind of the guy that wherever he's been, he kind of likes the spotlight on him.
Yeah.
On him. Now he's at Ole
You
Miss.
think?
That's and I think that's the tragedy in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is going through the best football season that they've ever had at that school.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go to the playoffs.
Yep.
If he goes to LSU, hopefully the committee won't take that into consideration that their coach is not there, but you don't know what they're.
No, you don't. You never know.
Florida State had an issue there a few years ago with the
Players
finals. But let's say that he decides to go. The tragedy is that while all this has been going on, all this drama, it has taken away from this football team.
It has.
They want to talk about Lane Kiffin and not Ole Miss and their football program and where they're at and where they're going and what they've done. I think that's what's been sad, you know, about the whole deal. I feel sorry for the players, and I feel sorry for the schools. And if he does go to LSU, I just don't think this is going to end well. I just can't see it.
I can't see a situation working out where it could work out.
No.
And you know you'd feel bad for the players because they got themselves in the position where they're at, where they could be, you know, vying for a national championship, and now, you know, if their head coach leaves to go to LSU, I mean, you know, he's not going to be sticking around.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're saying, well, maybe he could, but, you know, realistically he's not because he's got to go to LSU.
And, Coach, I hope he stays. I'm like you.
Oh,
I hope
yeah,
he
I hope
stays.
he does.
But if he does stay, you got to ask the question, why did you put everybody through all this crap in the first place? You see?
Yeah.
Why did you do that right here at the end of the year?
Well, you know, basically Ole Miss has said they're willing to match whatever offer is out there. So,
And they
can. There is a reason
Yep.
there.
He's playing the game a
So-
little bit. I understand that.
He
And
always
to a
has.
degree, that
Yeah.
also takes it takes the money out of it to a point that it's not going to be that they're paying you more. It's going to be, do you want to stay here or do you want to coach there?
Yeah.
That's what it takes it down to.
Where would this put the playoff committee, Coach Iruli, if Lane Kiffin went to LSU and they decided we don't want them going in there like they did with Florida State a few years ago with their quarterback.
Yeah.
Quarterback's out, not going to put them in the title game. What if they say, well, their coach is not going to be there. We can kind of justify, you know, maybe putting in a Texas or putting in a Utah or putting in a
Where they
Oklahoma.
ranked right now? 8, something like that.
7 or 8.
7 or 8. They just won.
And they're done. They're done at 11-1. They've only lost one game.
Yeah.
I've got them penciled in.
Yeah,
They're in.
I still think they make the playoffs.
Even without the coach.
I think if he leaves, I think they'll it's tough to knock off a team that's with an 11-1 record.
If you were the athletic director at Ole Miss and he decided to go to LSU, would you let him coach this football team
No.
to the playoffs if he wanted to do it?
Nope.
I wouldn't
Not if
either.
he makes that decision
No,
early.
he's
I wouldn't either.
no longer
I mean,
part of it.
I'd want an Ole Miss guy coaching my team.
Yeah.
I would too.
Totally
I'm going
agree.
to go against all three of you.
Do it.
I think you do. Because this is the biggest spite out of it. Because if he's coaching your team, he's not recruiting for LSU.
Yeah.
He's not moving in. He's not going into the governor's mansion down in Louisiana to get his paycheck. He's on hold through the early signing period.
Yeah.
So there's a benefit there. There's no magic he's
But
pulling out of the
I think
hat.
LSU is going to tell him you need to be here because you got to keep the players that are talking about leaving, and then you got to be part of that early NIL transfer portal stuff.
I don't think it'd be smart on his part to do that. It's just going to create more adverse drama and it's not going to be beneficial.
The worst thing that could happen is if he goes for all sides is if he agrees to take the LSU job, and he goes to LSU, does the same thing that happened here. He makes the announcement, and we find out the moving trucks are already loaded up at his house, and students burn mattresses on campus when they come back on Monday. And
no, that's never,
it's
that's never
ugly.
happened before.
But
Hey,
then,
listen.
to make it what would be worse is
What
if
does he want?
you immediately have Ole Miss players entering the portal.
That's right.
Coach, I don't know. I don't know why he would want to leave. I mean, the dream of every coach is to make the playoffs, have a chance to compete for a national championship, and then the jobs they're going to be out there in the future.
Correct.
This is not a good time. It's not a good. The timing's not right on this whole situation. On the other hand, what has Lane Kiffin ever won? Has he championships? Has he won championships? No. He's won a lot of games. He was fired by the Oakland Raiders. He came here and he was 6-5, and he left town like the Colts left Baltimore in the middle of the night. He went to Southern California because it was a dream job, and he got fired out there. And he ended up down in Central Florida somewhere,
he was
coaching a mid-major college down there,
Florida Atlantic.
thinking that everybody kind of had him written off, that this was going to be the end. And who gives him a chance? Ole Miss. And now you want to desert Ole Miss for giving you a chance back into the game?
And at Florida Atlantic, I think his record was maybe something like 18-14, something like that, in the 2-3 years they was there.
Yes.
So he didn't have a
Yes.
he got hired because of the name.
Stay and go for the championship, and then a year or two from now, if you're 9-3 or 8-4 and a job open, maybe. But don't throw this opportunity away. It may never come along again.
Well,
he's going to make plenty of money where he is. I don't see why he'd want to leave.
Especially
and he doesn't need the money.
No.
Does he?
No, I wouldn't think so.
No,
I wouldn't think.
And he's also his family there. His son's is doing very well locally in high school. His brother coaches on Ole Miss's team, and so I personally hope that he does not leave.
I'm sure he's a coach.
It's the right thing to do, but Lane Kiffin has always been known sometimes not to do the right
I'm
thing.
sure
So here's one reason Lane should stay.
Okay.
Is you have an athletic director in a school that is willing to go bend over backwards.
Correct.
And say, you just need to let us know by this date, which is today.
Right.
Tell us what you're going to do. They're giving him that consideration and opportunity because they want him to stay. You're not leaving him at the airport on the tarmac and having the plane take off without him, which has happened to him before. He should have the appreciation to say, you know what? This is what happens when they like me. And they really like me.
They really do.
Yeah. Well, I'm certain that he's a coach, and Coach, we've been there that has taught. He has taught discipline, and he has taught integrity, and he's taught loyalty, and now it's his chance to really show that, and keep the game with some integrity.
Do
keep
the right
the
thing.
sport with some integrity, and do what.
It's time for somebody to do the right thing.
Step up and do the right thing.
And so we
show some consideration for somebody else beside yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're relying on Lane Kiffin to do the right thing.
Yeah. Well,
okay. All right.
That's kind of iffy.
Come on, Lane. Come on, Lane.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to end it right there, but we'll be back to talk some more college football. It is time for a break, and when we return, we'll be back to close out today's show. You're listening to the Goteez Sports Page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensonTire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here along with Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons and Coach Tony Iaruli, assistant football coach at Carson Newman University. I guess it's university
Yes,
now.
university.
Yeah, CNU.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's upgraded since you've been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were we even called it college back then when you were there, or just Carson Newman Baptist something?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're watching, you've been seeing we've talked about the holiday market, but we've been switching over to some live views during the commercial breaks, so people can see the crowds coming by and the great parade of dogs.
We've seen a couple of horses.
We've seen a couple come by that were very large, and small children of all sizes and all kinds of attire.
There are a lot of people out there on
Lots of
Broadway
people.
today.
That's great.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the college football playoffs, and I've got the top. I've got the top teams here, top 12, and I just want to get some check marks before we look at the schedule and we try to figure all this out here. Coach, Ohio State, can we put a check mark there? Do you all feel like they're in? I think so.
I would think so.
Indiana.
Yep.
Yes.
Texas A&M.
Yep.
One loss.
I think so.
Yes.
Georgia.
I think
Yep.
so.
I think so. Texas Tech. Texas Tech is 10-1. They play West Virginia today. They're a 23.5-point favorite.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm going to check that one.
Yeah.
Oregon.
Yep.
Oregon's got Washington today, but they're only a 6.5-point favorite. They're at Washington.
They're 10-1.
Winning in.
You going to put a check mark there by Oregon?
If they win,
All right.
yeah.
If they win,
they're in.
Ole Miss.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they're in.
I think so.
All right, now then, I'm going to skip right down here to Notre Dame. They've got Stanford. Stanford's 4-7. That's a 10:30 game tonight. Notre Dame is a 31.5-point favorite.
10:30.
Being that it's Notre Dame and they're an independent, I'm going to put a check mark right there.
I would think
even though they've got 2 losses. Anybody disagree with that or not?
They're independent. And
Their only losses have been to Miami and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
They're independent and Catholic, absolutely.
I hate to say it, but
From the Catholic side of this.
I know
Checks both of them.
Marcus is
Check
down there
mark.
fuming, going, "They're Notre Dame. You got to put them in. They're Notre Dame, you know." So anyway, all right. Big BYU. BYU number 11 last week. BYU's got Central Florida at home today. 17.5-point favorite.
Yep.
I don't think no.
No?
I don't put an automatic check on there.
Okay, so you think that they're going to have to beat Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game in order to get in?
I
Is
think
that going to
they'll-
hold true for both of those teams?
They
I'd
ma-
say.
I think so. Whoever the winner is gets
So,
in.
Okay, so Texas Tech and
Tech and
BYU will
BYU.
probably get one of the bids.
Okay.
All right. So we got 1, 2,
Well,
3,
I
4,
think
5,
Tech is
6,
in either
7,
way, but I think
8,
BYU has
9.
to win to get in.
Okay, that's 9 bids right
so you
there.
think Texas Tech goes
no,
in no
I'm
matter
saying the
I think
winner
Tech-
of Texas Tech or BYU gets in.
No, I think Tech is in either way. I think
Oh, you
BYU
do?
has to beat Tech to get in.
Oh, you do? Okay,
okay.
So we've got 10 teams in. We got we got 9 teams in, and BYU's got to play their way in. Now let's look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is 8th. Are they in?
They're in.
If they beat LSU today.
They're in if they win
Okay,
today.
that's 9 teams. That's 9 teams, and you've got under the D5 deal, you've got a Tulane or a North Texas, possibly one of those 2 teams coming in there. So now you've got 2 openings. You've got 2 openings for the committee to decide who's going. You've got Utah that's already won. They won yesterday. They're 10-2 and done. Vanderbilt plays Tennessee today. Michigan plays Ohio State today. They have beaten Ohio State 3 years in a row. So we're looking at a game in Ann Arbor, and Ohio State, if they was to lose to Michigan, where's this going to put everything? Because Michigan, I don't know how that works in the Big Ten. I would probably, if I was on the committee, say, look, you beat Ohio State, you go to the championship game. But maybe they could say, well, Oregon has just lost 1 game. If Oregon wins today, maybe they could put them in the championship. I don't know how that conference works, but I would assume that Michigan, this is my personal feeling, if they beat the number 1 team in the country, they should meet Indiana in the Big Ten championship game.
That makes sense.
That being said, Michigan could play their way in to a spot, Coach Iruli.
If they beat Ohio State and they beat Indiana,
they could play themselves into the spot. They would be the Big Ten champion.
So
where does that leave all those other teams in the Big Ten with only a couple of spots left? And then you've got Alabama out there that will go to the SEC championship game if they beat Auburn today. And to answer your question early into the show, should a team be penalized for going to the championship game? If they lose, there's going to be a couple of teams penalized if this scenario works out. Is that not correct?
Well, they say that they won't penalize them, but yeah, we've heard that one before.
Yes, we have.
We've heard that one.
We've heard the wind blow before.
Yeah.
And we've already discussed Michigan and Alabama and BYU and Miami do not have a Manning.
Correct. We don't have the Manning effect.
Okay.
So if Michigan beats Ohio State, that leaves us a chance for Carson Newman to slide in there.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
I think you've got to throw Miami in. I think the ACC,
where's Miami in all of
Miami's
this?
But I think
they're number 12
still
right
playable.
the issue is going to be that the ACC championship game winner is not going to be the highest ranked team from the conference. Miami's not going to play in the ACC championship.
That's correct.
That's right.
That's correct. That champion's going to be either Virginia, Pitt, or SMU. And Pitt plays Miami today. So if Pittsburgh beats Miami today, then they're going to say, well, they got a chance to go. Miami's out. If Miami loses today to Pitt, they're out. And Pitt, that's going to be a big game because Pitt's playing for a chance to still go to the playoffs, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think there are some things going on with whether you're going to put down the formula to say, well, if this happens, you might be put in a position where you really are going to penalize somebody in a conference championship game. That you made your conference championship game, but you're not good enough to get in, and that's what they've said they don't want to do. But I think they could be put in that position. And I think it's going to be somebody from the ACC or the Big 12 that's going to put them in that position.
Yeah.
But like you said, if Michigan were to do it, then you're really committed to giving one spot you weren't counting on to the Big 10 because you're going to have to give one to Michigan.
That's correct. That's correct. You'd have Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, and Michigan. And then the SEC, you'd have Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, and then Alabama or Oklahoma,
You'd have Alabama,
or Vanderbilt.
If you make the conference championship game, if you're using that rule, Alabama's in.
Yeah.
So how can Vandy get in? So they have to beat Tennessee.
Everybody needs to lose.
And everyone else got to lose.
Everybody needs to lose.
Alabama's got to lose and not make the championship game.
Oklahoma's got to lose.
Oklahoma's got to lose and create that.
Right.
So
but when you get to that kind of chaos, where it's going to be you're not battling against SEC teams. You're making your argument against Pitt and Georgia Tech and everybody else who's got a hand up.
I like to see us this time next week.
I don't know that Vanderbilt wants Michigan to win because Michigan being out would probably benefit them.
Yeah, probably would
a little bit. But everybody else, I would think that they would just want them to bite the dust today. But there's going to be some arguments.
Yep.
There's going to be some arguments if everything plays out today. But Donnie Moore, we've seen in the past where a lot of times things just kind of work out. They just kind of work out. But
they do. They have a strange way of doing that. But when they don't, that's when things get sticky.
Yeah. Coach Iruli, do you see more in this playoff situation with what we mentioned here? Do you see more parity going in, or do you see maybe the top 5 or 6 teams are are maybe
Kinda
better
locked in.
than
Yeah,
the 6 to 12? Do you think they're all pretty evenly matched from top to bottom this year?
Well, I tell you, the difference is, I think, where there's a little bit of separation, I think it's Ohio State and Indiana. I mean, everyone else, I think they've got some vulnerabilities, but I think those two teams are the top notch of them all right there, especially the way they've played all throughout the year.
Yeah. Well, the SEC today, and I just want to go down through here. It's rivalry week,
Okay.
Coach Iruli, and I'll go through here, and you can make some comments if you like. But Kentucky's at Louisville, rivalry game. Clemson's at South Carolina. Dabo, he won a game there a week or so ago to go. I don't know.
I think they're 6-5 right now.
Yeah, 6-5, and he was jumping all over everybody like they'd won the national championship.
Then South Carolina blew the big lead against Texas A&M.
Yes.
Last week they were up 30-7 at halftime and ended up losing the stinking game.
Of course, Vanderbilt's at Tennessee, Florida State's at Florida, Alabama's at Auburn, Missouri at Arkansas, LSU is out at Oklahoma, and then nationally. Ohio State and Michigan, they're going to pair off there at 12 o'clock. Texas Tech and West Virginia and so on.
Let me ask you this question. If you would think if Florida would happen to beat Florida State, now I know they said Norville's going to be back next year. I think there would be such a huge uproar against Norville. I mean, they may change their mind.
I got a name for that bowl, that game down there today between Florida and Florida State. It's stick a fork in it bowl. You're done. Hey, I know Donnie's getting ready to blow that whistle, but we're not going to get out of here without predicting Tennessee and Vandy today. Coach Iruli, who you got?
I'm going Vandy. I think, after 100 years of football against Tennessee, I think this is their time.
Marcus Fitzsimmons?
Oh, I hate to say it, but
Yeah, come on, Marcus. You can do
I
it.
got to say the Commode Doors are going to win.
Oh, my gosh. Donnie Moore?
Come on.
Well, my heart says Tennessee, but my head, the thinking part of me says Vandy, so I'm picking Vandy.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going with the Vols today because they're not wearing smoky gray or any of those
Traditional.
They're going orange and white
I
today.
like it.
They are just white.
It's Vandy. It's just same. It's the same old Vandy. It's Vandy. I don't care about all this other stuff. It's Vandy. So I'm the only one here.
That's
I'm
what Lonnie
going,
and Ray would say, wouldn't it?
Hey,
they were just Vandy.
I picked them last week against Florida. And it happened down there.
Sure did.
Of course it's
And I'm going with Tennessee today against Vanderbilt over there. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to a great game
I
over
hope
there.
you're right.
Great game, but I'm going with the Vols.
He's been waiting for this moment. Finally came here 2
Tony,
hours later.
Coach, I really good to see you
Good seeing
again
you.
this morning. Good to have you back,
Glad
buddy.
to be with you guys.
Yeah.
Certainly, man.
Hey, that'll do it for today's edition of the Goteez Sports Page. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media, our host, the Bluetick Tavern, and all our sponsors. Until next Saturday, this is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, wishing everyone good sports.
And that's the final whistle. Join us again next Saturday for the Goteez Sports Page. The best in local sports since 1978.